Hello, hello. We're back with our fourth test stream. So goals today are to shuck the Phyrexia All Will Be One commander decks to get to our sample boosters for our next video. And work on getting chat to work in the overlay. So that is the goal for today. So we are going to start off going over to the channel settings and seeing if we can get into the live while we're transmitting. Okay. Okay. So I've got the video ID. Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. Good sign. Switch over to that. Change the properties here. Okay. That work? Can't tell. Oh, everything goes so slow when I'm streaming. You know, I bet it's my video card losing its mind. Move this down into a smaller window. Hmm. It's loading very slowly. Okay. Oh, while we wait for that, we will chuck some commander decks. Try and get to a reasonable state of being on these. So we're probably going to lose a bunch of frames from rendering lag, but it's all good. Okay. I cut this along the seam. Full set should lay flat. Yep. If I cut along the second seam, it'll lay flat and fit in the recycling bin. Huzzah. Alright. So we've got our tabs. That. Got there. There. Cut there. Flatten that out. So we can run there. And there. Free up those pieces. And there. Free up that piece. Get that piece. You know, I like the overall idea of these, you know, being almost fully recyclable, but there's definitely some folds that they could have avoided. Make things a little easier to tear down. Okay, so we've got that. Where is the chat control? It's not it. If we pause the stream, it should stop trying to load. Okay, chat. Oh. Yes! I mean, it's not like I announced them ahead of time, which is, you know, what I would do if I was responsible, but I don't know if you can see this or not, but we have chat showing up in the overlay. That is exciting. It is genuinely difficult to get that set up correctly. So the video ID does change every time I start a new stream, which is annoying. That means that anytime I start a stream, I will have to go and grab the video ID and update the settings. And I'm not sure how to automate that. Yeah, if you look in the lower left hand, Panda Girl, it's showing up. It is a little faded because I have it set to blend. Let's see. Select that element, blending mode, screen, and then we want to darken. Oh, well, if we darken it, then it just goes black on there, and we can't see all of the frame. But if I adjust the camera, we can see the space where that would have been. Come on. Man, this thing is so finicky. Yeah. Now we at least have a viewing space here. So that's good. But we are actually opening cards this morning. Well, evening for you, but I am opening up all these commander decks so that we can pull the collector's booster samples for the next video that I'm doing. So that is a thing. It's so small I can't read it. Yeah, it is small. Unfortunately, the way chat's set up normally, I'm not sure how that would work on a phone. So I kind of want to bring this in just ever so slightly. Yeah. Instead of top chat, we want live chat. So if I interact with this, this just goes so slow. There we go. Now we can see all the chat. Yeah, so this is what the commander deck insert looks like when you lay it flat, or break the tabs and flatten it out. So we can punch out various parts. It seems like such a waste to just throw away free tokens, even if they are just cardboard. Yeah, we have chat working. We're opening cards. It's a good day. I guess every day we wake up is a good day. But so we don't know how many days we have on Earth. We just know that we have the one we have. Right. I'm going to bring the Boxo tokens, or the Boxo counters, over here. Make it a little easier to manage. And all these life counters, I'm going to have to figure out something to do with. Probably give some of those away at some point. Okay, how do we want to set this up? A whole bunch of life counters that are going to take a ton of space. Put them in that. Counters in that. Deck boxes. Let's see. There's a life counter. It's an insert that goes in recycling. Deck box we can break down. Folded insert can go in recycling. We've got our deck there. Sample booster there. These paper deck boxes can also go in recycling. Yeah, it's we have a 12-hour offset, so that means if it's 2200 where you are, it's 10 a.m. here. Yeah, I'm on the east coast of the United States, so Up until a week ago, it was a 13-hour offset. We have what's called daylight savings time and daylight standard time, I think. Which is where we change our clocks twice a year, one time forward, one time backward by an hour. It's kind of a dumb thing that was originally for shopping and it was originally fueled by shopping, but it was. They said it was for agricultural reasons during, I think, the Second World War, but it was actually because of retail lobbyists, so that people would have more time to shop. It was kind of interesting, or at least that is my vague recollection of the history of it. So, yeah, it's morning here. I woke up a little late today, about 2 hours ago now. Still a little groggy. So I need to get back in the habit of waking up a little earlier. But I've been off contract for a couple months now. So the habits that I normally build up when I'm contracting. Okay. How far is Miri from you? I assume Miri is how it's pronounced. So I think I mentioned before I've been to Malaysia twice. Well, I flew through Malaysia twice. Stopped in the in one of the airports. It was the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, if I remember correctly. That was several years ago. Probably would have been before you were even born, Panda Girl. All right. Okay. Yeah, and if never feel like you have to stay for the whole stream. It's a lot of fun having you in here. You ask a lot of fun questions. I really enjoy it, but don't mess up your plans to hang out and stream. Okay, real life is more important than online. Always remember that. I know it's not as fun all the time, but it is more important. So it's one of those life lessons it's hard to learn sometimes. Right. And just remember, the replay will always be here if you want to watch it later. So, not really going to miss anything. All right. Okay, that's not too bad. So we are going to speed run through these. And that is the wrong side. Okay. All right. So what's the weather like where you are right now? It's really cold here, right? Well, not really cold, but it's pretty cold here. We had a deep freeze last night. It got down to 29 Fahrenheit, which is -1 Celsius. Oh, very cold. So my office is like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, just like I'm not even sure. It's been so long since I've had to read Celsius. So 10 degrees Celsius. Sometimes hot, always rainy. Oh, that's neat. We have there are parts of Florida that are like that. I'm not in Florida, but I used to live in Florida. Um, yeah. I will say I think I prefer cold to hot. Because if it's cold, you can put on a sweater or, another jacket or more layers. But if it's hot, there's only so much you can take off. And yeah, taking off like skin and stuff, it's not advised. You can't just walk around without our skin. I mean, I guess you could, but probably wouldn't be a good idea. Yes, cold always better. I mean, ideally you want like I don't know. My ideal temperature is like 67, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. I think that's really comfortable. It's 50 in my office right now because the heater doesn't push to this side of the house very well. Um, and I removed the old baseboard heater that we had in here about 5 years ago because it had a short in it, so it would run constantly. So like in the summer, even with the air conditioner on, it would be like 90 degrees in my office, and you couldn't really stop it. And once that short developed, so you'd have this heater running constantly. I mean, it was a baseboard heater, so it was like a radiator. But you had this thing running constantly, And then you were trying to fight it with the air conditioning. Yeah. I don't have asthma, but I I do have really, really bad allergies. And the cold is generally better for my allergies. Like we've been getting a lot of unseasonably warm weather the last few weeks. Um, like all of February was, well, not all. There were like 1 or 2 days of February that felt like February, but most of February was super warm. Like we had one day that got up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit in February, which is really unusual here. It was the hottest. It was either the hottest day or second hottest day on record for February. And so all the plants decided to bloom that week, and it just destroyed my allergies. I felt like I was breathing in soup. All right. So we got these shucked. That out. Get our sample boosters. So a funny thing I've noticed, excuse me, about half of these will have the security tag and the other half won't. I don't know why. Because they're from the same case. So, but we are shucking commander decks for our collector booster samples for another video. And then at some point, I will be blocking out all of the commander decks into playsets, since I have 4 of each. But Sam and all, you know, do you play Magic? Do you play Pokemon? Do you play something else? Like, you just like watching, packs getting opened? Like, maybe I have one for sweat? I mean, that would be a very strange allergy. So I have problems with pollen, mostly tree pollen and grass pollen. And it makes me really congested and uncomfortable. Mm. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know what a sweat allergy would be like. I, I know I don't like this. I don't like to sweat if I don't have to. Ishin from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, the one that doubles um, combat effects, or I think it's combat triggers. He doubles combat triggers. Is that right? Sorry, I have someone messaging me about a contract. I mean, there can be more than one Panda Girl. Or are you saying that Panda Girl is your sister? Is that Ian Lowell? Or Ion? Ian? Yeah, that's cool. So Sam, your commander deck is I guess Mardu then? Oh, well, welcome Ian. Panda Girl is apparently my #1 fan. Yeah, I appreciate her. Goes up to all my streams, keeps things interesting. Alright. Let's see, is that all our sample boosters? Yeah. So we got all 8 there. That will be for our sample booster video that I will do later tonight. Or I will record tonight and then post. It'll probably go up Friday. Do I ever buy cards? Yeah, I buy cards all the time. That's how I got these. I had to buy them. Or do you mean individual cards? Because yes, I also buy individual cards. I try to open stuff. Yeah, so single cards. Yes, I also buy single cards. I do that whenever there's something specific that I'm looking for, or to finish up playsets. Okay. So we've got those. That's an extra. Yeah, we'll put that there just in case. So we can break down deck boxes. Yeah, I think your question accidentally got doubled somehow. Yeah, I buy individual cards all the time. Well, not all the time, but pretty often. A few times a month. So I also play most formats competitively, so I try to keep up with the meta. Sometimes that means sometimes that means having to pick up stuff that I don't have, but most of the time, since I don't really sell my stuff very often, I tend to already have it. So it depends. Sometimes I will already have what I need, and I don't have to buy anything, or I won't have anything of what I need, and I'll have to search locally or have to buy online. Okay, Among Us. That's the game with the different guys with the big noses, or I guess it's not really noses. They're face shields, but where you're on like a spaceship or something, and you're trying to figure out who's the traitor. Is that Among Us? I know I have some friends that were really into it for a while, but it wasn't really my kind of thing. But I mean, it looked like it was probably fun. I just not the style of game I like to play normally. Okay, so basics we can pull aside, and then these, because of how I recorded that video, are reversed order. So we will recollate these to what they were. She likes, because she likes sus. I'm assuming sus is shorthand for suspect. I'm not really familiar with the hip lingo of the youth. My partner likes to joke that I'm actually a 90-year-old man, just secretly not. All right, well, Panda Girl and Ian, you two have a great night. Rest up, and I hope your trip to Miri tomorrow is nice. Good having you in this stream. Well, have a good night. Okay. So Sam, tell me more about this, about your Ishin commander deck. What's your favorite play in it? Do you have any big combos? Anything like that? Or is it just play the things and turn things sideways? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Those decks are fun too. So I personally don't play a whole lot of Commander. I do buy a lot of Commander products because Commander products are legal in Legacy and Vintage, which are two formats that I do play. And it's really frustrating sometimes to need to get a hold of a playset of something that was a Commander product, and then because no one wants to sell the great card out of their precons, that it ends up being as much, if not more, than the cost of just buying the precon. So I just circumvent it by buying all the precons. For example, Dockside Extortionist. I think its price has come down since it was reprinted. I'm almost certain that it has. But at one point, it was up like $80, $90 for a card that was in a $40 precon. To the point where people were buying the precon, taking out the do I know Roblox? I know of Roblox. My nephew was really, really into Roblox. It's again not really something that I play. It's not my kind of game, but I could see how people would enjoy it. Same with Minecraft. Like I have I have several friends that love Minecraft, and I'm just ambivalent on it. But I know of Roblox. I don't know a whole lot about it. I assume that you really like Roblox. Fervent Charge is an enchantment that triggers. Hey, Vorta boys, we're actually cracking some magic today. I got something fun in the mail yesterday. The email was not working. Uh-oh. Well, let's... was it not working as in it bounced back, or was it not working as in no one replied? Because I just hadn't checked it yet. Inbox. Can double his attack, I believe, if I roll a d20 greater than his power. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that card, Sam. I will have to pull it up once I figure out what's going on with my email. Note to self. Browser runs extremely slow. All right, Ian. Have a good night. It's a broken link. It's something. Oh. Oh, okay. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, so I put a link. I put it in as a link, and I also put it in as a channel email. Okay, I know how to fix that. I need to change it to an actual mail to link. Yeah, so the actual thing should be email.com. So that should be the email address. Wow, that is a lot of lag. Huh. Oddly enough, still 0 dropped frames. Encoder overloaded. Consider turning down video settings or using a hardware pre-encoder. Oh, crap. Sent a test email. Okay. We'll keep an eye out for it. I need to add it to my, I need to add that email address onto my phone at some point. Nope. There's a lot of stuff I need to do for this channel. Like I still don't have a thumbnail or logo or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we got our basics out of there. Nothing's come through yet, but it should. And I'll check the. I am so angry about the 1 of 1. I think that is such a stupid idea. Oh, that's cool. Sword of Hours. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Sword of Hours. I'm gonna have to. Is that from one of the? Is that either from Adventure in the Forgotten Realms or Commander Legends Baldur's Gate? The two D&D sets I know very few cards out of. Um, yeah, I don't see anything that's come through yet. But my computer is also just... Oh, there we go. For the boys, the language. Yes, I got your test email for the boys. It just took a minute to load. Yep. Yeah, there. Adventures in the Forgotten Realms was a humongous set, and I didn't play a whole lot of standard where it was legal. Um, so there's a lot of cards I'm sure I missed. Like I know the Manlands. I know some of the stuff that got played competitive. Excuse me, competitively. But that's about it. All right, so we've got our tokens and our what I don't even know what to call these cardboard etched commander things. These are the Phyrexia All-is-One commander decks. We were shucking them for our commander sample boosters, which I will be doing a video on later tonight and posting probably on Friday. Today's Wednesday, right? I think Friday. I did a full review of both of them. One went out this morning. The Ixal Scion of Atraxa deck went out this morning, where I covered everything that was in it. Probably shouldn't call it a review because I didn't really review things. I just went card by card and went over some stuff about them. And then the Niali Suns Vanguard, that one will be going out tomorrow morning. All right, am I selling the Precon deck? I mean, I can. I mean, these are still available on in retail, like just the cards. Eh. I only bought 4 of each of these, so I was planning to set them up as play sets. It's actually what we're getting ready to do. Give me a price. How many are you looking to get? Yeah, like normally I'll buy 4 of each so that I make sure I have a play set of everything that's in it. Some of the cards I have like dozens of play sets already, so it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the full thing, I really recommend just going to your LGS and picking up the full set of 4. Yeah, I do play sets, and that's the funny thing is it's kind of a kind of become a neurotic thing for me, like because I got burned on True Name Nemesis like 10 years ago now. So ever since I got burned on True Name Nemesis, I've bought a playset of each commander deck that's come out, um, just to make sure that I have a playset of each card for Legacy and Vintage. Aurelia, the War Leader with Helm of the Host, or Godo with Helm of the Host, and it gives you infinite combat phases. Oh, that's awesome. I love that combo. How many true names do I have? I mean, now I have 16 of them. But at the time, like I didn't realize it was in the commander decks at first, and I had the opportunity to buy a whole bunch of them, and I didn't, and then the price quadrupled over the case or over the course of a week, to where the true name Nemesis, like the card was twice as much as the precon decks. Yeah. Well, so keep in mind, I maintain the collection that I maintain is I keep at least 2 playsets of most things. And then for really competitive stuff, I'll keep 4 playsets. And that's because I manage a team of players, or I used to, and I manage the collection. Like it's my collection, but the team has access to it. We like pre-pandemic, we did like Grand Prix grinding, we did RCQ and PTQ grinding, stuff like that. Like we were a really competitive group, and we play tested a lot. And my partner is also in that group, and several friends of mine. But, so yeah, it made sense at the time to maintain that many playsets. At one point, our team was big enough that we could field 16. Like we had 16 players plus 4 reserves, so we could field out for like the quad events, the quad format events, for 4 full teams plus a reserve team. And then like for triples events, that was a whole nother thing. But that's been a little while. So I mean, there's also, at least in the Ixal deck, I mean it's good if you don't have much in the way of prior commander stuff. But there's not really a ton of stuff in here that's unreplaceable. How much is my collection worth? I haven't had my collection appraised in about 25 years. So as far as value, I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you I have about 3.5 million cards. Like that is my inventory size. So I take inventory twice a year. Yep, I'm on the East Coast. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the about section of my channel or not, but I'm in High Point, North Carolina. Well, I mean, dude, I've been playing for 30 years. Like you build up stuff. And I win fairly consistently. So it's not like all of the all of the packs I have are things I shelled out for. Like for instance, all of the shorts on the channel, I think every single short on the channel was a prize pack. I can't think of any of them that weren't. So I paid no money for any of those. Well, no money directly for any of those. Now the boxes, pretty much everything that I've opened long form, with very few exceptions, I did pay money for. Like I did buy myself. Um, Trying to think if there was anything that I don't think any of my long form videos are prize packs. I'm pretty sure I just do shorts of my prize packs, and I only do prize packs for my shorts. So when I stop winning, I'll stop making shorts. Well, I mean that's not entirely true. When I stop keeping pace with the shorts that I'm putting out on my winnings, I will stop making shorts. Or I'll switch to like Pokemon or something. But like I've brought these up in a couple of different things, like these unstable packs. All of these were prize packs from Unstable Draft. Um, by the way, Unstable is a weird set to draft. Any of the unsets are. Um, I think I still have some Unhinged packed away somewhere. I used to run Unhinged drafts um, in the mid 2000s, which were a ton of fun. But that was when I had a business doing Magic stuff. So I no longer do that, and haven't for quite some time. It's like I'm trying to think of what the last set I ordered through distribution was, and I think it was like Future Sight. Might have been Lorewind. Um, I did really well on Tarmogoyfs originally. Um, I bought about 180 Tarmogoyfs through pre-orders and from various people at the beginning of Future Sight for about between 50 and 75 cents a piece. So that was a good little boost. Um, but that was a long time ago. Tarmogoyf helped me make a down payment on my house. So it will always hold a special place in my heart. Yeah. All right. I'm going to finish these two, and then I'm going to take a very short bio break. Then we will be back. Continue with matching up our playsets and chatting. So, so since you both play Commander, what are your favorite combos in Commander? So, um, mine isn't exactly a Commander specific combo, but it's a combo I really like, and that's I really like Painter Servant Grindstone, and I really like Helm of Obedience and any Graveyard Hoser. But I'm going to step away for a moment. We'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, and we are out of penny sleeves. New pack of penny sleeves. All right. See ya. I keep playsets generally. All right. Well, Mortify, originally from Guild Pact. It's one of the Orzhov removals. And then Putrefy, originally from Ravnica City of Guilds, which is tied to the Golgari. So, anyone need arcane signets? I have approximately 1 million of them. Hello? Hello, hello. Man, check out real quiet. I see how many people are even in chat from here. Okay, what turned all your creatures into elks? Oh, apparently Fort of Voice dropped off. Okay. Would it use like Oko and then something along those lines, or was it like a humility combo? Like that sounds like it would be funny. Yep. So I've mentioned it before on the channel. I think I've mentioned it in this chat before also. I'm not big on Commander. But that's mostly because of how I am as a competitive player, and I keep running into the same situation, which is I build competitively. So my commander decks that I build are competitive commander decks. And apparently no one can agree on power level for things. So I think it's a reasonable thing. Like I think my deck is a reasonable competitive deck. And then I will play it, I will win, and then everyone at the table will no longer want to play with me. Or they'll say, I don't want to play against that deck anymore. After, 3 or 4 turns. So I'll build a different deck, and the same thing happens. So. But it's a thing. Like my favorite commander deck that I've ever built was Marchesa the Rose. Ton of fun, so much fun. Part of the build that I had was, I would get the Monarch and then blow up all the lands and keep the Monarch and rebuild. It'd be fine. And I had a Child of Alara deck that I really loved playing. I got to play it a grand total of 3 times before the play group that I had banned Child of Alara. Then I had a Teferi Mage of Zhalfir mono blue commander deck that everyone was really upset about because I had a Time Twister, which is the only piece of power that is legal in Commander. I'm like, oh man, you're sitting down with power. Yeah, I mean precons are fun, but I mean let's be honest. If you are losing to a precon and you think your deck is competitive, it's not. Precon, the power level of precons and competitive decks are night and day. Oh, okay. So he's one of those players that wants the game to go for like 2 days. Like he's not playing Commander to play Commander. He's playing Commander to socialize, basically. Is what I'm hearing. But yeah, that could just be my jaded take on it. Hey, some people have hobbies because they enjoy hobbies, and some people have hobbies because they lack social skills. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just, it is what it is. I used to be in Group A, or I used to be in Group B, and now I'm in Group A. Group A is a lot more fun. Developing soft skills is it's a very important life lesson. Scooza boy. Scavenging Ooze is in the Excel deck, and it is a very good card that used to be very expensive, and it's now very cheap. So it's Scavenging Ooze. Funny thing about it, the first 2 printings, or the first printing, it got up to like $25. It was a staple in Legacy. It's since fallen off because we've gotten better graveyard removal. But for a while, it was pretty pricey. I mean, it was still up there, like $9-10 when it got after it got its first reprint. And one of the core sets, can't even remember what core set it was in. I think Scooz was originally in a Commander Precon. I don't exactly remember. So I'm going to look it up on Gatherer. Chromatic Lantern. It's a great thing to have. So I have to ask Sam, do you just have the precon, or do you have other commander stuff and you like work on your deck a bit, or um, no shame either way. It's just curious. So it has been so long since it's been so long since I started Magic that I almost don't know what it's like to not have certain core things. Um, so I'm always curious to get people's takes on, initially building their collection and how that goes. Let's see, cards. Scavenging Ooze. When was that originally printed? Yeah, it was in the original Commander, and then it was reprinted in M14, and then Commander 2016. Yeah, it's had 8 printings now. So it's Karn's Bastion, Necroblossom Snarl, which oddly enough I did not have 2 playsets of yet. So I'm happy to pick up another playset here. Same with Shine Shadow Snarl. So I have not opened my Strixhaven yet. Yeah, pre-releases are a great way to build up a collection initially. Um, that's how my partner actually started getting into Magic, other than kitchen table Magic. They love pre-releases. So the last few years were kind of a bummer because they couldn't make it out to them. Okay. So do you mostly favor, um, you know, the Mardu strategies? Have you been able to pick up like any of the triomes to go along with them, or any of the other any kind of fast mana to help accelerate your game plan? Because like fetches and shocks would make a huge impact on the precon. Trying to think of what else would be really good. Like there's some strictly better replacements that you could do as well. Um, like Council's Judgment would go well in it. Crackling Lightning would probably be a good idea to add to that precon. Pretty sure he's Mardu colors. I could see swapping in a few different things. I also don't know what your budget's like for Magic, so trying not to make any assumptions either way. And I know Magic can be very expensive very quickly. Let's see. Athari is a better commander for the precon. Is Athari the second second commander that comes in the precon? I mean, I can look. I just makes me think. Actually, I've got the precon right here. Okay, so we got basic lands. You could there's definitely some things that you could swap basic lands for to be better. I mean, I could see Myriad Landscape, got the Temple, Slayer's Stronghold. So there's another red-white utility land from around this time that you may want to consider. There's Vault of the Archangel you may want to put in here. Cure Keep, Shurikon Snarl, Exotic Orchard, Castles. I don't know how much if you've put Ishan in, you've pivoted into black too, right? Ishan Warboss. Goblin Rabble Master would go well into this. White Sun Zenith. Yeah, there's a few directions you could take this. I don't know how I feel about increasing devotion in this. Hour of Reckoning is good. Harmonious Archon's meh. Flawless Maneuver is good. Finale Glory, Felder Retreat. Myria Angel, Elspeth Tyrell. You may want to consider one of the other Elspeths. Okay, so you have added black. Do you have Collective Brutality in your deck? Because that would be a good option. I don't know how I feel about Factory. Cave. Yeah, there's a bunch of options. Lightning Helix would be something good to add in. I'm not sure what you'd swap in. Like you can get a strictly better version of Midnight Haunting by swapping it in for oh geez, why am I drawing a blank? Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls is strictly better than Midnight Haunting if you're also playing black. Or you could just add it in. Gold Knight Commander, there's a few things that are better versions of Gold Knight Commander. Let's see. Battle Screech is good. Yeah, let's see. So Athari, Sun's Glory, is that the one you were talking about? Yep. Okay, cool. Whenever it attacks, you get an experience counter. Then create a 2/2 rebel. Step and attack for each experience counter. I mean, it's alright. There are other cards that give experience counters that you may want to look at if you plan on playing with that. Oh, why can I not? I would switch in some more utility lands. there's like there are better creatures than Jorkadeen. Adriana, Captain of the Guard, could be better. I mean, Siege Gang Commander is fine. Legion Warboss is fine. I would consider adding in Goblin Rabblemaster to go with them. White Sun Zenith is cool, but there may be some better options. There's a bunch of stuff in here that you could definitely tweak. And I would look at a better alternative than increasing devotion. I would look for a better alternative than Harmonious Archon. Finale of Glory is alright. You might find something better. Or I know there are better things, I just don't know what it would be off the top of my head. A Sword of the Animus could be good in here. Pretty sure that doesn't require green. The Black Court is also really good. Collective Defiance and Collective Brutality would also be good in this. Let's see, Roar of Resistance. Attacking your opponents and replace them. Yeah, I could see that working well with Ishin. I assume that you've swapped out Hexplate Wallbreaker with something that's repeatable. Goldhorn's Gambit's meh. It's very mediocre. Oh, here's something. You may want to consider Bitter Blossom. Are you familiar with Bitter Blossom, Sam? So 1 and a black during your upkeep, you lose a life. So enchantment. It's tribal fairy enchantment. That for 1 and a black, during your upkeep, you lose a life and create a 1/1 flying fairy or flying a 1/1 black flying fairy rogue token. If you're already running black and you're already in a token strategy, it is very good. And if you're running that, you probably want to run Skull Clamp. I'm pretty sure Skull Clamp is still legal in Commander. Skull Clamp is very good. Yeah, Lingering Souls would be a strict upgrade on Midnight Haunting. Something to consider. Yeah. Yeah, Bitter Blossom would slot in really well too. Yeah, Bitter Blossom is fantastic. It was banned in Modern for several years for a reason. Because it is a very good card. And it was format warping when it was in Standard. It used to be that you'd go Thoughtseize on turn 1 and then drop a Bitter Blossom, and then your opponent just couldn't keep up with the value. And then Skull Clamp goes along with it. So do you know what Skull Clamp does? It's a equipment. So it's a 1-drop equipment that equips for 1. That gives equipped creature +1/-1, and when the equipped creature dies, you draw 2 cards. So anytime you have token strategies, especially early token strategies, you would want to consider Skull Clamp. Let me double check that Skull Clamp is legal. Yes, it is legal, and it was in the Brothers War Commander deck. It is actually Skull Clamp is actually only legal in Commander and Vintage. Those are the only formats that it is legal. It is banned in Legacy because it is so good. And it's also in the most recent Brothers War Commander decks. So you may want to consider picking up a copy of the Mishra and Urza Brothers War Commander decks. Just because, first of all, they've got retro frames, so they look absolutely awesome. But also there's just a ton of value in them. There's a lot of there's a whole lot of staple cards for excuse me, for Commander that are in those decks. So something to consider. And they're pretty reasonably priced still. So but yeah, Bitter Blossom would be a big improvement. Lingering Souls would be a big improvement. Skull Clamp would be a big improvement. And then tweaking your lands, you'll probably get the most bang for your buck by updating a few of your lands. And there's actually some good lands in those Brothers War precons to ramp things up. So the big thing with building Commander, the two most important things are making sure that your lands are good. So make sure that your mana is solid, that you have the right number of lands and the right way and good ways to get them. And then making sure that your game plan beyond that is focused. Because the more focused your deck, the better it'll perform. Yeah, so the first improvement I would say is pick up Triome for your colors. Because that will give you access to the lands, and then the 3 fetches. The 3 fetches in your color trio. Like that will give you a lot of consistency. It's because it's a core deck building thing that a lot of new players, especially in Commander, don't learn up front. So like, it's nothing to kick yourself over or worry about really. Oh, did this get miscollated? I've got 2 decks that have been miscollated. And they were miscollated out of the factory. Because that's the one that I recollated by hand. Aha, Sandstep Citadel got swapped with Cankerbloom in the ordering on those. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of core concepts of Magic that if you're playing casually, you may never learn. Especially as a newer player, because where would you learn it from? Like, if you're playing casually and your opponents are all playing casually, like there's a lot of things that you're just not going to ever come across because they're secondary concepts to the game that are either philosophical or theoretical concepts that if you're not reading up on it or studying it or like spending a lot of time deck building, you're never going to come across. Like concepts of card advantage. Like most casual players have no idea what that is, even though it kind of describes itself. Or I'm totally drawing a blank. Like the certain intricacies of how the stack works, the layering system, how that works. Granted, most players don't come across that until they try to be a judge, um, or try to do really high level competitive play. Trying to think what else. I mean, there's a few things. But yeah, the your lands are the foundation of your deck. It's what 99% of decks are built on top of. There's a few really rare corner cases that have little to no lands and don't worry about them. That's like those are very special cases, and if you're building those decks, like you you know what you're going for ahead of time. But yeah, for everyone else, lands are very, very, very important because they are the foundation of everything that you're trying to do. After your lands, your fast mana is another part, and then your tutor package if you're planning to tutor. So like making sure you have Soul Ring, making sure you have Arcane Signet. If you are planning to run it, things like oh my god, I play the card so damn much and I can't think of the name of it. Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, fast mana like that. Grim Monolith or Basalt Monolith even. Although Basalt Monolith is a little more niche than Grim Monolith. There's a reason why those cards are really expensive at this point, and that's because they're in limited supply and they're really good, so a lot of people want them. And there's not a whole lot of replacements for them. Jeweled Lotus, another example. It's effectively the Black Lotus of Commander. It's like, woo. So, stuff like that. Lotus Petal. Like there's almost no deck that can't benefit from a Lotus Petal. There are very few decks that don't benefit from Lotus Petal because it's like having an extra. It's having an extra mana for free. At some point early game, and if you're going for a quick strategy, that makes sense. But yeah, I would highly recommend if you want to improve your deck a lot quickly, the Triomes, Shocks, and Vetches for your colors. And the nice thing about them is those will go into literally any deck that uses those colors. If you need to know what those are, I'm happy to tell you. So you're in white, black, red. Your white, black fetch will be oh geez, my brain will be Marsh Flats, and then your red, black one will be Bloodstained Mire, and then the red, white one will be Arid Mesa. Then you'll want the shocks that go with them because you can tutor those, or you can fetch them, basically. And that would be Blood Crypt, Godless Shrine, and not Hallowed Fountain. Sacred Foundry. And then you'd want the Triome. Let's see, what's the Mardu Triome? Let's see. Triomes. Mardu, that'd be Savai Triome. So, Savai Triome, Sacred Foundry, Godless Shrine, and Blood Crypt, and then Arid Mesa, Bloodstained Mire, and Marsh Flats. So those 7 cards will improve your mana by leaps and bounds. And you should be able to pick up all 7 of those for under $100 altogether. Depending on the version, you may be able to get away with less than 50 for the full set. And then you can just reuse, you can reuse those in any number of decks. So, let's see. And there's some utility lands that you may want to consider. Like the Karus might be good for you, like Boros Garrison and Rakdos Carnarium, things like that. But let's see. Transformers, spread across the multiverse. You may want to consider some multi-lands, like Mana Confluence and City of Brass. Those tap for 1 of any color. Trying to think of what else. I think this is just the stuff off the top of my head. Definitely want Bitter Blossom and Lingering Souls if you're going for the token strategy. Swords to Plowshares might not be a bad idea. Vindicate is good. Is good removal. Let's see. And there's what's it? Agonizing Remorse, I think. It's the other Vindicate, basically. The non-land Vindicate. I think it's Agonizing Remorse. Let's see, fetch lands, temples. Shrines, that's Culture Shocks, duels. If you want to get into like the really heavy stuff, you could consider getting actual duels. They fulfill a similar function to your shocks, but they don't cost life. So that would be Scrubland, Badlands, and Plateau. But those are going to run you several $100s, just because they're in short supply. And you get a lot less bang for your buck with those. So just something to be aware of there. Chromatic Lantern would be a good mana rock to consider. What else? Oh, there's my Phyrexian Dreadnoughts. Okay. Let's see, what are some black staples that you'd consider? You might want to consider Bloodghast to lean into the landfall theme, or the landfall sub-theme that's already built into your deck. Let's see. Snuff Out is good conditional removal that you may want to consider. Although if you're playing against another black deck, that can be kind of a pain. You've got like token doublers that you could consider. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Like you've got a bunch of options. If you like the if you like the Helm of the Host combo, Stoneforge Mystic. is something to consider. And then you could you have the option of doing a equipment package. So Stoneforge Mystic plus Batterskull and Kuldotha Complete, and then whatever swords you like or other equipment, and it plays along well with your Skull Clamp. So Stoneforge Mystic is 1 and a white for a 1/2 core something or another. I think it's like a core warrior or something like that. Might be a core shaman actually. But when it comes into play, you search your library for an equipment and put it in your hand. Then for 1 and a white and tap it, you can put an equipment into play from your hand for free. So, very good card. And it synergizes really well with the Skull Clamp idea, and it gives you access to things like Batterskull, which Batterskull is fantastic equipment. Plays into your Helm of the Host combo. In fact, Helm of the Host you can play Helm of the Host and then equip it to your Stoneforge Mystic, and then you can just keep getting other equipment every turn, which is both obnoxious and hilarious and works really well. Have to invest into which one? Into Stoneforge Mystic? Stoneforge Mystic is just 1 and a white. Or do you mean that they cost a lot of money right now? Because I have no idea what they cost right now. Why is Stoneforge Mystic $40? What? What? Yeah, I'm going to recommend cards that are good. I don't know what they cost most of the time because I do not pay attention to prices most of the time. I have had a playset of Stoneforge Mystic since Worldwake. That was like 15 years ago. So, yeah. I opened 3 of them out of booster packs, and I bought the last one for $6. But it was, again, like 15 years ago. I mean, it wasn't exactly 15 years ago. It was like it was probably actually 10. I'm trying to think of what year Worldwake came out, because that was where it was first printed. (2010). So yeah, 13 years ago. Actually, I can show you my Stoneforge Mystics. I know exactly where they are. Let's see. They are either in Dead Guy Ale or they are in White Staples. They should be in Dead Guy Ale. They are not in Dead Guy Ale. Why? Not in Dead Guy Ale. Goblins, fetches, temples, fast lands, strip mine lands. Have some restored stuff. Those are Elspeth's. Those are just Planeswalker books. Okay. So it's in white staples, or it's in. It's not in the Tudors, is it? It is not in the Tudors. It's not in Undead Gael. It's not in Artifact Staples. Not in Duels. Not in Shocks. It's Red Staples. That's the book with the swords packages. Okay. I need a simplified Chinese Shuko. Apparently. Reg, black staples, sideboard tech, white staples. Here we go. Let's see, so we've got swords, condemns. There's my purges. O-rings, journeys, magus, tempered steel, intangible virtue, glorious anthem, honor of the pure, more swords, aura of silence, angel, squadron hawk, Elspeth. Okay, this is not funny. Where are my Stoneforge Mystics? Ruh-roh. Did I pull the... I know exactly where they are. They are sleeved up in a deck box. I took them to a legacy event. Let's see, that's Griselbrand. I need to take that version apart because it's no longer legal. Really, I have foil Blood Moons. Let's see, that is Vile Zoo. Which I also need to put that up. Why is there an extra set of Sword of Fire and Ice? Sword of Feast and Famine. What the hell? Dahlias. Arbiters. Someone just shoved together my... Oh, that's a bad sign. That's Death and Taxes and Domain Zoo. Go together. That's not supposed to be like that. That's Mardu Vehicles. I need to take that apart. This is also a deck that needs to come apart. It's a standard deck from 5 years ago. It's another deck that's Affinity. That deck hasn't even been legal in like 3 years. Or rather, that build of it hasn't been legal in like 3 years. Let's see, that is Ad Nauseam Tendrils. Here we go. Dead guy. Found it. Dude, hearing 1993 is 30 years ago makes me feel old. Oh. Sorry you ate them. Yeah, so this is actually a legacy deck that I was playing an event a couple of years ago and forgot to disassemble and put everything back. I was like, oh no, where are my Stoneforge Mystics? And it's like, oh, you haven't played them in like 6 years. It's like, it's a good card. It was banned in Modern until relatively recently. So that is why the confusion. I wonder when I switch over if I'm going to lose. Excuse me. If I'm going to lose chat. Like if I switch camera sources, will I lose chat because I have it set as different scenes? We'll see. Worst case, I will copy over my settings. So we're going to copy that. Before we jump over, then we'll jump over to document cam. Yeah, I don't even have the source added here. So browser source, add existing stream chat YouTube. Oh, nice. It just works. That is great. All right. That needs to move. That needs to move. And this needs to move. Whoop. All right. Let's see. Yeah, this is the legacy deck that I was playing for a while. Why did stream chat disappear? Uh-oh. Oh no! Okay, back to overhead cam. Back to... There we go. Alright. Yeah, so we got my Scrubland, Sword, Wasteland, Marsh Flats, Brutality, Dark Confidant, So Batterskull is one of the ones I was talking about. It's a living weapon. It gets +4... So it creates a 0/0 germ token when it comes in, and then the equipped creature gets +4/+4 and has vigilance and lifelink. And then you can pay 3 to return Batterskull to your hand, and it equips for 5. Bayou. Let's see. Deathrite Shaman, which is no longer legal in Legacy. Hymn to Torok. Confont, Verdant Catacombs. Stoneforge Mystic. There we go. There's my Stoneforge. Stoneforges. I've got a full playset in here. Wasteland. Scrubland. Oh, Lingering Souls. That's the card I was talking about. The only thing that Lingering Souls doesn't have over the other one is that it's a sorcery instead of an instant. But you get to create 4 tokens. Because it has flashback for 2. So something to consider. You may want to run it with it. There's another Stoneforge, Deathrite Shaman, Karakas, because I didn't have my normal Karakases with me that weekend. Bayou, Sword of Fire and Ice, Verdant Catacombs, Council's Judgment. We'll go Chrome Mox, Thoughtseize, Miri's Guile, which I was running in this for some reason. Collective Brutality, another Wasteland, Lily of the Veil, Melody, Veil, Veil. Thoughtseize, Stoneforge, Thoughtseize, Wasteland, Lingering Souls, Dark Confidant. So, yeah. It's a legacy deck that I really enjoyed playing that is not legal anymore because there's a card in it that is banned. Deathrite Shaman is no longer legal. So. Oh yeah, Lingering Souls is one of the most efficient token creators ever printed. Battle Screech is good. Yeah, Bitter Blossom is definitely something to consider. I think I actually have Bitter Blossoms in my sideboard for this deck. We got some swords, got a Pithing Needle, Ghostly Prison, Gaddock, Containment Priest, Surgicals, Revoker, Bridge, Plague, Tutor, Rest in Peace, Enrique Gusari, and Ethersworn Canonist. Apparently, I am wrong. Yeah, this was a good deck like 5 years ago. Top-aided 2 legacy events with it. Yeah, there is a version of this that had Lingering Souls in it. Actually, doesn't this version have Lingering Souls? Yeah, this version has Lingering Souls. What am I talking about? Yeah, Lingering Souls isn't super expensive from what I remember. It'd just be a couple bucks, if even $1. And that's something that I got in the mail yesterday. Completely unexpected. How much is Lingering Souls these days? It is 20 cents. So it is a quarter. If you wanted to get a copy of it. And it is a good card, so I recommend getting a copy of it. You can even get the really cool Time Spiral Remastered version. And the nice retro frame. Yeah, that doesn't show up well on my phone. But yeah, the retro frame version is less than $1. So something to consider. Yeah, this kind of turned from we're gonna build out our playsets to a deck doctor session, but it's all cool. So, I definitely enjoy sharing my Best deck building knowledge with others. It is. It's fun. Yeah, I like the Time Spiral remastered version because it is the retro frame, which is actually like the 1996 or 1998 frame. I can't remember which one. Might be the 97 frame. They tweaked the frames a few times during that time. But it is the proper Magic border, in my opinion. So, yeah. All right. Ooh, I've already built up place, or since I've already popped them over into playsets, I can binder this. I can binder these out. Actually, but I think Ethan is gonna go out of the surgery alive. Yeah, I mean he's an interesting commander. Do you look at any of the CEDH lists on like EDH Rec or anything like that? Actually, let me verify that that's correct. Don't want to give bad information. EDH Rec. Yeah, EDH Rec. That would be edhrec.com. Yeah, so creatures are important, but your underlying support structure for your deck is going to have a bigger impact on how your deck plays than any creature you put in it. And let's see. There's a lot of there's a lot of things that you can do with him that are dependent on your playstyle. I personally really like being able to make my decks as consistent as possible. Some people think that's boring. I think it makes it so that there are fewer instances of not getting to play Magic, which is one of the biggest issues in my mind with Commander and with other singleton formats is sometimes you just don't get to play Magic. And that's fine. Like that's part of the game. But you have to do your part to mitigate that issue. And part of that is having your mana correct and having your deck built correctly. You want your mana to be correct. You want your support pieces to be correct. You want to have tutors if you can, just to increase that consistency and give you options when you need them. Black and white have fantastic tutors. Red's tutors are kind of meh. Like you have Gamble, which is it's very strong, but also it has exactly what it is in its name. It is a gamble. But like there's no reason that I can think of why you wouldn't want Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor, and Enlightened Tutor in your deck. Enlightened Tutor is probably the most questionable out of those three. Like if you're running black and you're not running Vampiric Tutor and Demonic Tutor, you should have a very good reason why you're not. Because they can get any card. Vampiric Tutor is the second best tutor ever printed, and Demonic Tutor is the best tutor ever printed. So it is a thing. Let's see, what else? I mean, there's a lot of different directions you could take it, and without seeing your list, there's not a whole lot other advice that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, getting your lands right. Tutors, if you like, tutors would be like a third round enhancement at this point. Like tightening up the focus of your deck, which tutors help with. After you get your lands situated, would be a good idea. And the nice thing is, with the way the deck is set up, you can just straight up swap 7 basics for for your 3 fetches, your 3 shocks, and your triumph. So that's not even a hard decision to make. You may want to consider some of the other fetchable cycle duels, like Canyon Slaw, or Canyon Slew, rather, which is the red-black one. I don't think there's a red-white one. And I don't think there's a black-white one. I think it's just ally colors for that cycle. Let's see. Then there's some of the utility lands like Sunbaked Canyon, Silent Clearing. They're duels that you can also sack to draw a card later on. Those are a little more expensive and a little less ubiquitous. So you're not necessarily going to get as much reuse out of them. But the shocks and the fetches and the triumphs are always a good investment. Because they are so ubiquitous. They are used all over the place. Something to consider. So I don't know how you want to prioritize things, but just some options. And with all advice that I give, this is not financial advice. Your mileage may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Yada, 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 yada. Please don't sue me. You know, all that good legal stuff. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not a fiduciary. Any advice of mine you take at your own risk with no implicit liability or warranty. So on and so on and so on. Suey? What are you trying to call the pigs home? Like, it's a bad joke. So I grew up out in the country. So when I see Sue, looks like Suey, which is what you do to call pigs home. It's the whole thing. All right, what time is it? Wow, we've been streaming for over 2 hours now. So I would love to stay here all day and work on decks, but I don't really have that luxury. I have other things that I must attend to today. So Sam, if you want, you can throw your list up on Moxfield and then send me an email through the channel, and we can do another Deck Doctor session in the near future to try and see where we can go with that. Come up with a plan. Yeah, Sui. It sounds a little different, but I'm not going to shout into the mic right now. It's not a good idea. So, Yeah, Sui pig. It's the whole thing. It's a bunch of jokes about it in various movies and things. All right. Well, we are going to wrap this up now. Gotta get going. But again, Sam, if you want, my email is linked in. Yeah, you can send it how it looks or what you're trying to get to, and we can work on it that way. I'd say Moxfield or MTG Goldfish's deck entry kind of thing. One of those two would probably be good. I know Moxfield is getting more and more popular now. No, it's how you call pigs. Yeah, it sounds very much like how a sow calls her young, and it just kind of carries over into adulthood. So yeah, but if you're not familiar with it, moxfield.com. I don't think I have any lists up there now, and hopefully I didn't misspell that. But you can post a list on there, and then send me you can share it to my email, or just send me the link. Either one works, and we can figure out a time to work on improving it. So with that, I do need to wrap things up. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. It's been a fun and wacky adventure as always. If you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing and throwing a like and comment on the videos. It really helps us out. By us, I mean me. I say us, it's literally just me with this channel. So until next time, everyone stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.